Seth. You're terrible.
Okay, and at 6:45, we'll be calling the Public Works and Economic Development Committee to order. Members are Mrs. Ramos, Mr. Rippon, and myself. I see that we're all here. Alternates, Mr. Simlick.
Yes, sir.
We have one item to discuss tonight, and that's proposed ordinance 8, 2026. It's the removal and replacement of guardrail in the city limits. And it's gonna be a 100% paid project by ODOT. I'm gonna turn it over to Ronnie to explain where and all the details on that.
Sure, from State Route 800 up to, across the White Bridge, all the way into town on a 7-mile drive. And then, if you look, they're actually gonna do, almost 2/10 of a mile of guardrail that should be 100% on us, but they're gonna do that, also for us, so they could just continue to, make their way into town. And like you say, I think, I know it's been asked about, the part here that says the city agrees to assume and bear 100% of the cost of any construction items requested by the city on the entire improvement which are not necessary for improvement as determined by the state and federal highway administration.
That's pretty much,
What's that saying is, they typically go 7 to 8 feet. If I went out there and told them I want mine 75 feet, and I want it encased in concrete, and I want gold posts on it, and gold nuts and bolts, that would be,
that would be our expense.
yeah, because it's not necessary.
Yeah.
So that's why that is said in there.
Basically, this is just giving ODOT permission to come onto our property and
Right.
replace the
Right.
guardrail for free.
And I think that, like I said again, what needs to be said too is they're being a good neighbor for us, because they're doing almost 2/10 of a mile of guardrail that, at the end of the day, we should have 20% cost into, but they're gonna do that. It's the .17, I just call it 2/10 of a mile if you round it up, so, a win-win for us, for that little piece that they're gonna do, so. But naturally, if there are any questions, I can answer them.
All right, any questions for the service director or anybody on council, or committee?
Also, Mr. Chairman, if we could get this passed on first reading, that would be awesome.
Okay. From the administration or public?
You said it all.
No?
We did.
Okay, seeing none, is there any action to be taken on this?
Well, being that I like free, I would move that we put this on tonight's agenda and ask for suspension of the rules, pass it on
Okay.
first reading.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Second, Mrs. Ramos, we'll take a vote. Mr. Rippon?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
Yes.
I'll vote yes also. And so that will be put on tonight's agenda, and we ask for a suspension of the rules to pass on first reading. Is there anything else to come before committee? Seeing none, motion to adjourn.
So moved, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rippon, at 6:48.
Didn't meet your.
Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting, the New Philadelphia City Finance Committee, to order. I see before me that Mr. Crimebill is here, Mr. Lonzer's here, and our alternate Mrs. Ramos are here. Two orders of business tonight to discuss. First is Resolution 4, 2026. This would be the resolution to transfer the money that we discussed during the budget times from general fund to the cemetery fund. The auditor is here. I would defer questions to her at this time if you have any, but this is things we discussed during the budget process would have to be done.
And this just matches up with what was in the budget.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what we had discussed in the budget that we would eventually move over.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman. On this here, does that make them whole for the year?
Yes, not much of a carryover into the next year.
That's okay,
but
just,
yes.
yeah, just make them good for the year.
According to his budget, yes, as long
Okay.
as we bring in the revenue that we expect to bring in.
Okay, what I was wondering is if it could be amended, and the reason I talk about amending this is because of, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but we've been trying to get that bucket truck. And instead of setting 205,000 on a shelf, don't let anybody touch it, can we put the 40, if we get this bucket truck? And I'll tell you why, it reared its ugly head last week. An oversized load came through town and ripped down one of the heads of the travel light. So we're out with the big, tree trimming truck, so we had to shut down east and westbound traffic to get the big truck in there, where it would have just been, you pull it up in, you go straight up, you take it on, you bring it back down. And, we have not been able to get that bucket truck yet because of a lack of funds. So what I'm saying is, does it make sense to kill two birds with the same stone and see if we can get that now, get our bucket truck, and then do an adjustment in October, November, December, whenever the other 40's needed? Just a thought. I just think it makes sense, but hey, I'm not the auditor.
Yeah, unfortunately, they need it now. He's already at a negative $37,000 this month.
But what I'm saying is, but you're gonna flush him with 160, so now he's up
He's-
133.
No, he only started out with $2,000 in his fund, and he spends about $40,000 a month. So,
Okay, so then he's good for
no,
3 more months?
he's negative 37,000 right now, and he was negative earlier this year.
Okay, so then when can we get the bucket truck then?
That's a good question. It just depends on when the
Okay,
revenue
thank you.
comes in into the master capital fund.
What's the balance in the master capital fund?
I don't have that with me at the moment, but that's the one that has the projects in it, that has the reimbursable grants. So once we pay those projects and get those.
Any questions regarding Resolution 4 and making this transfer? Sounds, and I think that that would have been difficult, Ron, with the funding, pulling and pushing. It would have been a whole different ordinance because we'd be taking money 2 or 3 different places, it sounds like. I understand what you're trying to do, and I think it was a good idea. I'm just not sure that the auditor can do that on the ordinance that we have before us, or the resolution we
I
have
would like to
before
go
us
on
today.
record saying it's very unsafe for us to be out there in traffic in a 50-foot boom truck swinging around 3 lanes of traffic.
The master capital had $47,000 in it as of March 31st. And we haven't posted any revenue for April, so it appears there may be enough in there to cover it.
Not if the grant expenses come. I think you just finished the South Side project. So we will have a final bill on that. We haven't been reimbursed for any of that yet. So possibly when we get the reimbursements for the South Side grant, that would be $245,000.
Any other discussion on Resolution 4? Hearing none, do we want to take any action on this tonight?
I assume this'll, do we need to pass this?
We do need
sooner
to
or later
pass
since
this.
it was negative 37,000?
Yes, we need to pass this on a first reading.
I'll make a motion that we add resolution number 4, 2026 to tonight's agenda and suspend the rules for passage.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, I'm just gonna do a voice vote. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries Next thing we have is ordinance 9, 2026. This is another transfer of funds regarding airport, correct?
Yes.
So we will open the floor. You have a copy of ordinance 9 for you. I would open the floor to the committee to any questions you have there. If you want to explain what this is doing for us, Madam Auditor, I'd appreciate that.
Sure, it was previously appropriated in the permanent budget under the ODOT Projects Grants Fund. I recently found out that these ODOT projects will be reimbursed and not paid in advance. So we have to move it to a fund that has cash in it, which is the Airport Capital Improvement Fund. So that's what the shift and reconstruct taxiway is, and the T-hanger and taxiway design is, it's moving it from the ODOT projects to the airport capital improvements. There's currently enough revenue in there to cover those. We may possibly need to, later on, transfer the final bill on the FAA will also be reimbursable. Just became aware of that too. So that may eventually need to be put into the Airport Capital Improvement Fund or Master Capital, if there's not going to be enough money in airport capital improvements to cover that final bill. I don't know what that final bill is on the FAA grant. Right now, there's a remaining balance of $553,000 for the FAA expenses, and so hopefully a lot of that will be advanced and come before that final bill. If not, we'll have to take that from the airport capital improvements, which they don't have enough cash to cover that. Therefore, then we probably have to take it out of the airport, or out of the regular master capital.
But all of these funds are reimbursed upon sometime after payment.
Yes, and they said that we may not receive this revenue this year.
Really?
Questions regarding 9, 2026? Questions from the administration?
No.
You know what's going on with it,
Yep.
right? Okay. Is there any action to be taken by the committee
I
tonight?
move that we add ordinance, we need this passed on first reading
Yes,
also.
please.
Add proposed ordinance 9, 2026 to tonight's agenda and ask for suspension of the rules.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, again, I will just do a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We will put both of these items on tonight's agenda. Is there any other business to come before the committee? Yes,
If you
Mr.
don't
Randall.
mind, since we have a little bit of time. I need to, trying to figure out how to say, I'll be the first to admit, I jumped the gun on the health department a little bit today, and I need to publicly apologize. I sent an email last Thursday, giving my opinions on that we needed to consider merging the Tuscarawas County Health Department. With the city's current financial hardships, I have been very focused on ways to operate more efficiently and improve we can deliver those results. Unfortunately, my enthusiasm outpaced the formal process, and I need to apologize to Nicole and her staff, the mayor, and council for that. And so I just wanted to get in front of that, say, and also, I made a mistake. I believe in full transparency, but there's a proper time when to do that. And I also forwarded things thinking I was doing the right thing, but clearly wasn't, to John Baker. I get super excited we have media here covering us, and I made that mistake too. And so I formally had to apologize for that right now, and apologize to the health board who had to meet. What they discussed, I was not there, but I heard that they had a meeting today, and I apologize because that's time out of their day, it's time out of mayor's day, and it's time out of Nicole's day. And, you know, seeing Dana sit over there, I can't even look at her, I've known her my whole life, I feel awful about this. So it's tough, and I apologize for running too quickly. But I hope that everybody understands my intentions are to represent 17,000 people in the city but I also have to remember there's employees here that I need to respect even, more as well. So I wanted to put that out there. I don't wanna have a discussion about it, because this is finance, but I felt like I needed to say that. The other thing is, Michelle had, thank you, Michelle did unbelievable work with this, what's it called? The
Financial health indicator?
Financial, geez, it's right there in front of me. Oh, sorry. Financial health indicators, and she set up a Teams call, with this, and I gotta give her 100% credit. I would've never known this existed. Steve had a conflict at work, so I jumped on it with Michelle and Heather, and, that's printed out here, and I wanted to allow her, if it's okay with you, Steve, to maybe speak on this since we had some extra time.
We have some
too.
extra time, and I think that would be
So that-
appropriate if you're ready to speak on it.
Sure, I'll do my best.
Okay?
I will try to do it without putting it on the screen. And if you guys would rather me put it up, I can do that. Let me start by just making this statement. The report in front of you is compiled of 198 entities. There are 2 that have 8 cautionary or critical indicators. New Philadelphia is one of them. And, I have a little speech prepared for later in the evening, but it's like my 4th day on the job. Trying not to step on toes. I appreciate that Councilman, Heimbel has, at least tried to propose something for you to consider. I will save the rest for later, but I will just say that we were warned by the auditor of state. If we don't make the hard decisions ourselves, they will be here in about 2 years making all the hard decisions for us, and we won't have a voice in the process. And they'll stick around a lot longer than we're gonna want them to be around. So I'll save the rest for later. As far as the indicators, I mean, I don't think what he provided goes into detail, does it? Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, so back on page, there's a second part. The first, like 8 pages is just all the different entities and where all the different cities, or entities are scored. The second group is the 2024 final report. I'll just kind of read through the indicators until you tell me I'm out of time. Indicator 1 is a critical outlook. It is calculated from our annual audited financial statements. And this calculation was prepared by the auditor of state. They took the unrestricted deficit, subtracted out the net OPEB pension, and then added back in the liability section for pension and leases, and that net was $165,000 negative. That calculation, and I'm probably going way down in the weeds too far, but they took the 2024 $164,000 deficit and subtracted the balance that was in the net position unrestricted deficit in 2021, which was 2.9 million, so $3 million. The difference was 115%. So $3 million to a negative 165 in 3 years, 4 years. So that is then calculated to, I think, indicator number 5. Let's see. Indicator number 5 is on page 20. They're saying the 2024 general fund balance was 1.3 million. The 2024 general fund revenue was 9.5 million. So the 1.3 divided by 9.5 is 14.23%. in 2024. In 2023, it was 23.75%. It's a difference of negative 9.52. So that covers 1 and 5. I'm skipping the ones that have positive. The only one that I can offer a solution, which is what I was gonna ask, if, the mayor, auditor, service director, and the safety director met to update our, capital asset policy, which has also been mentioned for several years in our management letter provided by Ray and Associates. So I had sent that to, Finance Chair Griffith for consideration and reviewing that. If we can get that in place, it should take care of 2 birds with 1 stone. Hopefully the finding would go away on the financials, or the financial audit, and the state had suggested it's one of the easiest things that we can fix by amending the length of service years that we're putting some of our assets in place. For example, we had a $1.2 million fire truck we bought. The current policy, which was back in 2006, is the latest update. Range was 10 to 20 years. We were putting them on at 10 years. Likely that fire truck is gonna last 20 years. So we're depreciating our assets at a
Much too quickly.
expedited rate, yeah.
Much
So
too
that
quick.
was one thing that we could work on. Other than that, I don't have any answers. Like I say, Councilman, Rambo is the only solution that I've seen or heard has been put in front of you. So I really hope that we can come up with something, because we have to be fiscally responsible with our responsibility. I mean, it's, I could go on and on. So if you want me to keep going on the details of the financial health indicators, I can do that.
Does anybody have a specific question from what you've looked at? I know these were just dropped on your tables earlier tonight, so maybe you haven't digested them.
I would say, like, certainly we're not experts by having one call
No.
on this either. But it was a very enlightening call, I would take it. I know Michelle and I talked like right after it. You know, it's something you gotta take serious and, look into. I mean, I think a lot of us believed, you know, we had some things to work on. But when they say you're 2 out of 197, you know, it definitely,
That's
Like-
sobering.
yes,
That is sobering.
yeah.
I'd just like to add with the capital assets, it's something that yearly is requested and expected for each department to update their assets, additions, and deletions. And it's like pulling teeth trying to get those from some of the departments. And it's a sheet, it's the same form that you send every year. So throughout the year, if you just update as you go, as you buy things, as you sell things, and then turn it in at the first week in January with your inventory, that could really clean up a lot of the capital assets. And that's a form I think Michelle sent out weeks ago, asking for these updates. I did get an update today for the sewer vehicles, and I compared that to our assets, and there's 8 vehicles that are currently on our assets, our book assets, that were not on his current list that he just sent me. And I imagine that's not just the sewer department, because I've seen some very old vehicles with the other departments as well, and I'm sure we probably don't have those, and that's what, you know, just every time you, and even if you trade it to another department, especially if it's an enterprise going to a government department or vice versa, we really need to record that in our books. And that's just, I can tell you, some of these are from, vehicles are from the early 90s, so, and that's just from his list. And I know there's some order vehicles from other lists that I think we really just, like Michelle said, we need to start with getting this cleaned up, and I know she sent those lists out quite a while ago, and again, these are things that are due every January, the first week in every January. So every department really needs to take a look at this list and have
In
these
the
updated.
policy, one of the findings was that we are prorating our assets as we're putting them on the depreciation schedule. So if we buy something and put it in service in September, we're not practicing what our policy says. So you may send it to Ray with a September date. Our policy states July 1st or January 1st, twice a year. So that's one of the things that the policy does address, is updating it so it's going to be on the month that it's put in service, but you're still only gonna send it to Ray twice a year, because they'll bill you,
You're basically getting full year, half year.
yeah.
But with one caveat, that there'll be a requirement that the month that it's purchased or disposed of, we would supply the auditor with that report.
Yes.
Not once a year. So
Right.
we'll do it monthly in the policy. She'll hold it, but to give it to Ray, but the departments will supply it monthly, the month that we purchase it or
That's what
dispose
we
of it.
decided in the meeting.
Proposed, yeah.
Yeah.
And also an approval process that either the safety director or service director or mayor, if it's administration, would sign off on, and the auditor and that department would agree on the fire truck needs to go on for 20 years. And that form explains, it provides an area for them to put an explanation.
Yeah, and just for clarification, the stuff that I had John Lee send you today, I looked back through the email chain, and the stuff from the wastewater, came December 31st of 25.
I had
And
all of
then,
those,
Scott stuff came January 20th, I believe.
yes, I had all of those, but like I said, just going backwards, I didn't have, the projects that had the water and sewer lines. I didn't receive anything that had any report of any, upgrades on those projects.
But I mean, okay, just so we're
So I
clear
did-
here, that you are receiving everything, but the only thing you didn't receive is if he put in a 5-foot line and he took out a 12-inch line. Okay,
The forms that you had sent me, I had received those. I was
Okay.
not able to verify just by going through,
Okay.
our ledgers to see if anything was missing.
Okay, any other business? If not, we're gonna,
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, I'd suggest maybe we start having work sessions to get through this. We're ready anytime.
are you?
Yeah.
kick
Any-
it under the table.
Any other business? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
Police and fire department.
I remember that one.
All right, I'd like to call this New Philadelphia City Council meeting to order. Would you please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance? Mr. Rippeth.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would you join me in prayer, please? Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with just gratitude for the opportunity that we can serve this great community. Lord, as this city council gathers tonight and we talk about difficult issues, we just pray for your wisdom, discernment, and that you'll be inhabiting our thoughts, Lord, as we go about the business that we have to do. Lord, we know that we may have differing opinions, but we can disagree without being disagreeable, and we just pray for your presence in all of that, Lord. Grant each of us discernment to do what is right and best for the city. And Lord, be with all of those who serve this city so well, from safety and service workers to the administration to each and every individual that's involved in making this city go. Lord, we thank you for them, and we just are blessed by their presence. Father, all this we ask in the matchless name of your Son, Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you and welcome. We'll start with roll call.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Here.
Mr. Lonzer.
Here.
Mrs. Ramos. Here. Mr. Rippeth.
Present.
Mr. Sears.
Here.
Mr. Simmelink. Here. Mr. Walker.
Here.
All right, it's good to have a full load tonight. On the agenda, everybody had a chance to review the agenda. Are there any additions? Mr. Lonzo?
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that we add proposed ordinance 8, 2026 to the night's agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rippeth. Any discussion by administration, council, roll call?
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, any other additions tonight? Yes, Mr. Rippeth?
Mr. President, I actually have two additions for tonight.
All right,
First, I'd like to add Resolution 4, 2026 to tonight's agenda. Going to ask for a suspension of the rules and passage on first reading. Also like to add Ordinance 9, 2026 in the same manner.
do I have a second
I'll
for
second.
those? Thank you, Mr. Cranville. Discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, any other additions? Hearing none, take a motion to approve our agenda for tonight.
So moved, sir.
And a second? Thank you, Mr. Walker. All right, got a hands going there. All righty, roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
All right, our agenda has been approved. Minutes, as everybody had a chance to review the minutes from last council meeting, are there any additions or corrections? Here then, entertain a motion to approve. Thank you, Mr. Walker. Thank you, Mr. Granville. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Abstain?
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Abstain.
All right, correspondence, Ms. Courtright.
To Councilwoman Ramos from President Kemp, dated April 15th, 2026. This is an email titled Rezoning Joy Howden Property. President Kemp asked Mrs. Ramos to take this request into her committee for consideration. To council members from Mayor Day, dated April 15th, 2026. This is an email titled List of Local America 250 Events. To Councilman Lonzer from President Kemp, dated April 16th, 2026. This is an email titled Please Assign to Mr. Lonzer's Committee with Ordinance 8, 2026 as the attachment. To council members from Law Director Fate dated April 23rd, 2026. This is a reply to an email titled Transition of Health Department. To Council and Administration from Auditor Denham dated April 24th, 2026. This is an email titled FY 25 Pre-Audit Letter to those charged with governance. To Council Clerk from Treasurer Campbell, dated April 26th, 2026. This is the investment and savings report for March of 2026. I forwarded the report to Council and Administration. To President Kemp from Law Director Fate, dated April 27th, 2026. This is an email titled, Please assign to Mr. Rippett's committee with Ordinance 9, 2026 as the attachment. President Kemp asked Mr. Rippett to take the matter into his committee. And to Council and Administration from Mayor Day, dated April 27th, 2026, the mayor's report. And that concludes correspondence for this evening.
All right, thank you, Ms. Cordray. Move into our administrative reports. First up, Mayor Day.
Thank you, Mr. President, council members, fellow administrators, and guests. A couple things I want to touch on the report that I sent you today, and then I want to report on the special health board meeting that was held today. First of all, beautiful pictures. Please go check it out down at the Southside Community Park, the new restroom and pavilion. That'll be open soon. It's by the soccer fields. Construction of the building was completed last week. The project was funded by grants from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, the Kimball Foundation, and the Timken Foundation. Picnic tables will be purchased to put in the pavilion, which will also function as a shelter for soccer players and visitors to use in the event of rain, or if the sun gets too hot, you got a place to sit and get out of that hot sun. For the 39th consecutive year, the City of New Philadelphia has earned a Tree City USA Award from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Division of Forestry. The award is a result of our commitment to manage and maintain the city's tree canopy. Our tree-lined streets and the shade trees in our parks are key attractions in New Philadelphia, but they also improve our environment and contribute to better health and well-being. I want to thank Service Director McAbeer, General Services Superintendent Ray Gruwell, and really the city tree crew, all the members of that, for their efforts to maintain New Philadelphia as a Tree City USA. And by the way, on Arbor Day last Friday, a new bald cypress tree was planted at the corner of Wabash Avenue and Lakeview Street by the lagoon. You can check out the city's Facebook page for some photos and more details. Now I want to turn to the special health board meeting that was held today. It was at noon and was called in response to the draft contract with the county health department that was sent to each of you. Today, the New Philadelphia Board of Health in that special meeting discussed the issue and adopted the following resolution to present to City Council. And I'll read this into the record. Resolution of the New Philadelphia City Board of Health regarding the proposed merger of the New Philadelphia City Health Department with the Tuscarawas County Health Department. Whereas a draft contract has been circulated proposing the merger of New Philadelphia City Health Department into the Tuscarawas County Combined General Health District. And whereas the New Philadelphia City Board of Health has not participated in any formal discussions or negotiations regarding such a merger. And whereas no negotiations have occurred between the appropriate legal representatives of the City of New Philadelphia and Tuscarawas County as required under Ohio law. And whereas the Board of Health finds that any proposal for merger must be carefully evaluated to ensure the continued protection and promotion of public health services for the residents of New Philadelphia. Now therefore let it be resolved by the New Philadelphia City Board of Health, Section 1, Findings. The Board of Health determines that the draft contract proposing merger with the Tuscarawas County Health Department is premature, does not reflect the required legal and procedural steps, including formal negotiations between governing bodies and legal counsel. Section 1.2, the board affirms that it is not authorized nor participated in any negotiations of agreements related to a merger of the health departments. Section 2, requirements for further consideration. 2.1, should New Philadelphia City Council wish to pursue consideration of a merger, the Board of Health strongly recommends that an independent feasibility study be conducted. 2.2, such a study shall be commissioned through a vendor selected by the New Philadelphia City Health Department and should evaluate, at a minimum, the financial, operational, legal, and public health impacts of any proposed merger. In section 2.3, the board asserts that a thorough and transparent evaluation process is essential to ensure that any decision made is in the best interest of the residents of New Philadelphia. So that resolution was passed today. So we have members of the board here, as well as Health Commissioner Nicole Bache. And Nicole, I'll give you the floor if you want to make additional comments or answer any questions that council members may have.
Sure do have comments prepared. I'm going to start off by having Dana bring around quantifying the cost of the free services that New Philadelphia City Health Department provided to the city last year. In my annual report, I reported how many services we provided. And apparently that was not enough for some on city council. So we actually called around to Union Hospital, to Stat Cares, to other facilities in the county that offer these services that your employees are going to need going forward. I came up with the exact numbers that our department saved, because I think putting it in black and white is the only way that it's going to sink into some council members.
Thanks, Dan.
If you want to take a look, we offered employee health and wellness visits in 2025 to 193 city employees on work time. That equates to, if they had to go to a stat care or physician's office, a minimum of $350 per visit. Now you may say, they're going to have to use their health insurance. The problem here is, New Philadelphia is self-insured. Everything that we pay out is coming directly out of our general fund and everything else that we're paying for. The cost savings in 2025 to the city of New Philadelphia by keeping our services in-house was $67,550 plus productivity. New Philadelphia City Health Department employees were in and out of our office and back on the job on an average of 20 minutes. We triaged 4 workers that were workers' comp claims last year. Those would now have to go to the ER. An ER visit, level 1, is $608. That is just to get in the door. When we're talking about they needed stitches, they needed bandages, they needed medications of any kind, that bumps you up from level 1 right away. Level 1 is $608. The cost savings in 2025 was $2,432, as well as productivity saved as we had them in and out of our office and back to working within 30 minutes. Now that is on the low side, as I've said, because we often give out meds, we dress wounds, we do other things. That will bump them up from a level 1 of care in the ER. 90 city employees came to us for pre-employment drug screens in 2025. The average cost of a 10-panel drug screen at Union worked well because they do not offer the 12-panel drug screen required by Human Resources at New Philadelphia in their policy, cost $65. There is also an additional fee if you want those results back to you rapidly instead of waiting 2 to 3 weeks to get those back. I think when we're in a crunch to get people hired, we're going to want those results back much quicker. Our office has a turnaround of 20 minutes. The cost savings on those employees is $5,850 from our department. TB skin testing. This past year, we did 35 firemen as part of the annual skin testing. Cost from Workwell is $30. We charged them absolutely nothing. Your cost savings to the city was $1,050. We also go to the to New Philadelphia Fire Department to give the tests and read the tests. So they are no longer out of commission. They are ready to roll if a fire or ambulance call needs to go out. That will not happen with Workwell. They will have to be out of commission to go and sit in an office and wait until an appointment time is available. Routine vaccinations for new employees and boosters for high-risk employees. This is an OSHA requirement. Current staff, we maintain their records for all of their vaccinations, and we reach out to an employee when it's due, every year. If the department ceases to exist, the administration is going to have to come up with someone else within the administration that's going to take over this to monitor who's had vaccines, when they've had them, and when they're due again. We gave 46 vaccines to city employees last year at no cost. That total cost that we saved the city was $3,073.50. Moving on to mosquito spraying. While it is true that Tuscarawas County Health Department said in their contract they will offer mosquito spraying for the city, after speaking to other city municipalities, they do not do it for free. They charge you by the minute. So we are going to break down what it would cost the city of New Philadelphia because we do that for free. The cost for spraying is $4.93 a minute. That's on the low end of what we charge. I am not sure what the county charges because I did not bother to ask them how much they actually charge. But at our rate, the city would have had to pay out $3,843 last year. And last year was a dry year that we did not spray as much as possible. Total net savings in 2025 from our department that you did not see on paper was $83,798.50. I have also brought with me tonight a stack of city ordinances. These are all ordinances that you all have passed that say the health department is going to do above and beyond what the state requires. We can do that with home rule. When we have our own city health department, we make our own rules. When the city health department goes away, these all need to be rescinded by city council. So you can take a look at them and you can decide, do we no longer want to offer these to our constituents? Because they will not be enforced by the county health department. They enforce the rules exactly as they are for the state. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. And thank you for recognizing the long-standing service and professionalism of the New Philadelphia City Health Department. I want to be clear on the outset. This conversation is not about whether our department has provided value to this community. It has. And it has continued to do so every single day. The question before you is whether a proposed merger is truly in the best interest of the city and its residents, and whether it is being approached in a way that is responsible, lawful, and fully informed. There are several critical considerations that must be addressed. First, the proposed June 2026 timeline is simply not feasible. A decision of this magnitude requires a formal feasibility study to determine whether a merger would be mutually beneficial to both the parties, both of us and the Tuscarawas County Health Department. Without that analysis, there is no reliable way to evaluate financial impact, service levels, or long-term sustainability. Moving forward without that foundation would be premature and risky. Second, I want to clarify an important part about governance. The City of New Philadelphia Board of Health is a governing body. They are established under the Ohio Revised Code law. It is not an advisory committee. Any merger of the health districts requires action by the respective legislative bodies, which is yourself, and then it must be formally negotiated between the two boards of health. This is the legal process, and it is intentionally deliberate. It cannot and should not be bypassed or rushed. From a financial standpoint, the projected savings deserves careful scrutiny. Residents of the City of New Philadelphia do not currently pay into the Tuscarawas County Health Department levy. I can see that the proposed financial structure outlined in the draft agreement with the county that has been circulated sets forth cost for a buy-in beginning at approximately $300,000 a year in the first year, with increases that continue to rise in subsequent years. More importantly, I would like to draw your attention to Ohio Revised Code 3709.31. This statute states that the expenses of a city health district shall be paid on the warrant of the auditor. In practical terms, that means the city is obligated to pay the expenses as determined by the health district. Should the health district come back and say in 3 years or 5 years, this is not enough, it's not negotiable. You will have to pay what they tell you. So when we talk about buy-in costs or ongoing fees, we must understand that these are not fixed numbers. They are subject to the change based on the financial needs and the decisions of the district providing the services. It would be unrealistic to assume these costs will remain flat over time. This is not simply a one-time decision. It is a long-term financial commitment with limited control over future costs and increases. We must also consider service levels. It has been suggested that services would not be diminished, but that assumption should be validated, not assumed. I would encourage each and every council member to speak directly with leaders in other communities, including Dover, to better understand their experience with county-provided services. Additionally, there are services currently provided by our department that may not continue under a consolidated model. These include the free mosquito spraying, employee wellness and injury-related visits, nuisance mitigation, the free tire program. These are visible and tangible services that directly impact the quality of life in our city. Beyond those services, there is another critical factor, our codified ordinances. I have reviewed the city-specific public health ordinances currently in place for New Philadelphia. These ordinances were developed to address the unique needs of our community. Under a county model, those city-specific ordinances would not be enforced the same way, if at all. That is one of the key advantages of maintaining a city health department. It preserves home rule. The ability to create, implement, and enforce regulations that are tailored specifically to our residents and our local priorities. When you move to a county system, you move to a broader, one-size-fits-all approach. While that may bring efficiencies at a regional level, it can come with the cost of flexibility, responsiveness, and local control. I also want to address the process by which this discussion has unfolded. Decisions of this magnitude require communication, collaboration, and respect for established roles. To date, there have been a lack of direct engagement with my office and with the Board of Health prior to advancing this proposed policy. I want to be clear. No individual member of council has the authority to independently negotiate or advance a merger of this nature outside of the established legal framework. The Board of Health has statutory authority and legal standing in this process, and that must be recognized and respected. This is not about personalities. It is about governance, process, and ensuring that decisions are made correctly and lawfully. I fully recognize the financial challenges facing the city. I have worked diligently to be a responsible steward of the resources entrusted to the health department. And I am actively pursuing additional funding that opportunities to support both public health initiatives and broader community needs. We were just awarded another grant today. However, I respectfully disagree with the notion that consolidation is the only option facing our city moving forward. There are alternative approaches that can and should be explored collaboratively, approaches that support the city's financial goals while maintaining high level of service that our residents have come to respect. At the end of the day, this decision deserves a thorough, transparent, and fact-based analysis. That includes a feasibility study, a complete financial analysis, service comparisons, and an adherence to the legal process. Anything less does a complete disservice to this council, to the Board of Health, and most importantly, to the residents that we all are here to serve. I remain committed to working collaboratively with you all to ensure that any decisions made are thoughtful, informed, and in the best interest of our community. I thank you for your time and for listening through what I've had to say. I'm open to any questions that you may have.
Any questions? Yes, Mr. Ramos.
A question and a statement for vice versa. I just want to say that I do, and I said that on an email, appreciate all your hard work at the department. But when I read that contract today, my take on it was, it's gonna start a discussion, and we need to have a discussion. And it wasn't, to me, in my opinion, outside any legal framework, because just reading it, I knew the lawyers weren't involved or anything. I
Right.
could understand
So-
that.
I can address that when you're done.
Yeah, well, I understand where that is, so.
Our
you don't
Board of
need
Health
to-
has never been contacted, and our Board of Health is the ones to be negotiating any
Okay,
contract.
well, no, I understand that. So this wasn't a negotiated contract. To me, I viewed it as, we're getting a conversation
Framework.
started, which we should have, and I appreciate that. And I would like to have, you said that there's other alternative approaches to explore relative to support the city's fiscal needs. And I think we need to have those conversations.
Absolutely. I've asked multiple times to sit down with council and discuss as a whole what we can do. No
Yeah,
one's
and
taken
we
me up
need
on
to do
it.
that, because we heard from the financial health indicators that we're in trouble. And we need to explore all avenues. And so rather than people getting mad and upset and rising the heat or the temperature in the room, we just all need to understand where we just all need to work together.
I would
to
agree with that.
bring
However,
this.
I think I feel most disrespected that a conversation has never been had with me to begin with. My board has never been brought into a conversation to begin with. And then we have a contract dropped on us out of the blue.
And that was a sample, it said draft right
I-
on it.
I understand that.
So maybe what we need to do is get something written from the board, how you can reduce the cost. Or make up $200,000 coming out of the general fund to pay for the health department? maybe we need to hear, hey, we need to start addressing this.
I am more than
And
happy to sit down with
I
council,
would
and I've
love
said
to
that
have a
multiple
letter from
times.
them.
Yes, I would love to sit down. If I'm saying I'm giving the city $83,000 in free healthcare, fine. I can cut all that out right there. That's $83,000 that I can put back in my budget and start billing every department for every little thing that comes through our door. That's gonna nickel and dime every single department around here, and their budgets are gonna go up. That is tangible stuff that the city needs to look at and say, okay, maybe 300,000 is what the county's saying they're gonna get the first year, but maybe we need to give a little bit of leeway to our city. If they're providing, they could go to 380. I can get us down there, but there's going to be a little bit of services lost. I will lose some staff. But if that's what it takes, I don't think we throw away out the whole entire department over, boom. It's never been brought to me to ever sit down at the table and have a conversation with anyone in this room.
So I think my opinion is now we can and we should. Now that it's come to the forefront, we need to do that.
All right. Other comments?
I just want to clarify for anybody that got on late tonight that's watching at home or came in late. I commented during the finance committee, it was probably around 7:10, that this was on me, and I take full apologies for that. And I expect Nicole to be upset with me, and she should be. I did not handle it properly, and I already said that earlier, and you can go back and listen to it. And I will say I did not negotiate a contract. That word keeps coming up. That was sent to me by the county health director. That's all it was. I did not negotiate anything. I mean, that was just sent to me, and when Cheryl was asking some questions in the email, I felt it made sense to send it out. Again, I already have said my piece earlier, but I'll apologize again. I did not handle it properly. I did not go in the right order of events. I said that. I'm human. I made a mistake. And I apologize to the health board. I apologize to the mayor again. I'll apologize to Nicole again. I am trying to find ways to save money. That's what I'm doing. I have no ill will towards the health department. I love them. They're awesome. The employees are great. I'm trying very hard to save money, and I did not handle this one properly. So for everybody listening at home, no one else on council did this. It was me. And I take full blame for this, and I apologize again for it. Thanks.
But I would say, Mr. Kreinbill, what you're doing goes back to what we discussed during our budget meetings, that we have to look at every process in this city, and we are looking at other processes as well. So I understand you feel like you jumped the gun, and we've got to handle it differently, but I commend that you're trying to look at this as well as many other areas where we can save money without having to raise taxes on our citizens and still give adequate service. So I understand what you were trying to do.
Mr.
I'll
Walker.
second what Steve said there, but I do have a couple questions for Nicole. So your numbers here, just a couple questions about those. The drug screens, are we processing them here or are we sending them out?
Yes, we are
Oh,
processing.
Okay,
And that is equivalent to what I quoted is them processing.
Okay.
Those are not sent out, so I did not, I called and spent time on the phone, apples to apples for everything.
okay. And then the vaccines, I know we're saving money by doing those. Are we paying for vaccines or those are coming to us at no charge?
I am giving them to you at absolutely no charge.
But are they coming to you? Are you
Correct.
paying for them?
They are being done at absolutely no charge.
But how do you receive them? Do you have to pay for those? Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
I guess my question would be, Mr. Ribbit, they brought up stuff, and I know you want to look at all the different departments. What's your next step?
I believe this goes before a committee of the whole. I don't think it belongs in any one committee. I think the committee of the whole should get together and meet with the health department,
So what are
start
you gonna do
there.
with other departments? So
We'll address them one at a time. We've already looked at a few.
all right? what does the council think about a council of whole meeting to discuss the health department?
I think that's a good idea, but I think it's gonna take more than one discussion.
Yes.
Well, I agree there.
Yeah.
I do, if I have a question, I
Yes.
have been contacted by many people in the community and a lot of people that have higher standing in the community, and they want to address council. They are very upset that this is coming up. So I'm not sure when a good time to just tell them to come in. We've talked about just making flyers and saying, here are all the council's contact information, start reaching out and just blowing them up. But I don't know that that's what you want either.
Well, I think the first step is
They're not
to
happy.
have all the discussions, and then, I highly value public comment.
Correct, but I don't
Um,
wanna wait until it's a
I
done
would
deal
say
and have
wait, because that
council
decision
come in.
hasn't been, it's not far enough along, I don't think, in the process to, and the public's welcome to come to any council meeting,
Okay.
and, you know, they're all public meetings, and a committee, of the whole would be a public meeting.
Yeah, up
So
to
they're
this
welcome
point,
to
I've been
sit.
tamping it down and saying everything's fine, but I no longer, it's out there, I'm not going to say everything's fine, I'm going to start passing out your emails.
Okay, Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Any questions for the
Any further
mayor?
questions?
I
Thank
wanna
you.
know this.
All right, how you gonna follow that up, Ron? Service director.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. In the last 2 weeks, we got the boat ramps put in down at the Waterworks Field. We also put the one in on, down on 416, the Carlisle boat ramp, we call it. So those have both been installed. If anybody's been by the downtown quadrants, right around 95% of the pavers have been put in on the northwest quadrant. The pavilion was supposed to have been received last week, it did not. There were some powder coating issues with some of the rail that goes and holds up the roof structure. So they hope to get that in yet this week. As far as on-site, I don't believe we'll see anything as far as being erected or anything like that. And then I'm sure everybody's noticed that they've since jumped over to the southeast quadrant and started putting down pavers there. So they've been taking about 6 weeks per quadrant. A little less intricate over in that section, so I believe it may go quicker in the House of Stones quadrant, I call it. And then we'll still have that last quadrant to do. Still working through a couple of change orders. The one for the coal chute, waiting on a PE stamp, private engineer stamp to say this fix will hold and be fine. So we're still waiting on that. When they did get over the quadrant, on the northeast quadrant last week, we ran into some conduit over there that had some speaker wire and some other things. And unfortunately, about an $18,000 change order. So right now, we're real close to all the contingency money that we have for that project. With the help of Omega and the mayor, we've reached out to Director Carey. Did receive an email today that there's no more ACGP money, but he is looking for other revenue sources for us so that we can get this to the finish line by the end of July like we still want and stay on budget. So we'll continue to work through that. And like the mayor had also said in his report, the south side restrooms, we went down there today with the engineer and then the rep from Gorcon Construction. The base molding, the vinyl base molding is not done in the bathrooms. Some vents in each one of the bathrooms were not right, so those have got to be changed out yet. And one of the security lights on the back wall by the drinking fountains is staying on, so he's got to work through that. And then they power washed Sunday, and they actually nicked some paint up, a couple on the front end of the door jams, and on the back side So they gotta take care of those things. So nothing major there to take care of, something they think they can wrap up by the end of this week. Have not received the occupancy, certificate yet from, I guess, the authority. So we're waiting on that. Once we get that, we'll be able to open those up and, be ready to go full bore on the restrooms. But, like the mayor had said in his report, they turned out very, very well. I know it was, challenging at times, maybe a challenging time because we had a winter more than we typically had, which pushed that timeline out. But I think the finished product, I think everybody here will be proud of it, especially when you get down there and take a look at it. With the lighting that was put in the pavilion this year for this time, I think it was a nice touch. So again, please go down and take a look at it. I thought it turned out really well. And another thing that I wanted to touch base on, which the mayor had already touched base on too, Superintendent Gruel and I had went up to Ohio State University at Worcester to receive our Tree City USA Award last Wednesday. CFAES campus, I guess you'd call it. I'm gonna butcher what it was for, College of Food, Agriculture, and Environmental Science. I'm thinking they kept saying it that day.
Good.
Yeah, but they said it a bunch of times that day because, but it was, it was very nice. They showed us around the greenhouse of the campus and different things too, showed us different things that they're doing. But it was, very, very nice. Next year's a big one for us, the 40, Tree City USA Awards. That's when we finally get the new signs to put up, and they've changed them a lot because I'm like looking at them, I'm like, okay, but it's every 10 years, so next year will be a big one, and we go to Canfield for that. But we'll be ready to receive that, and it is quite an accomplishment to keep that going and sustain that. It's based off many factors. That's not planting trees, but it's also based off of the trees you cut down and trim and so on. And also today, Newton's Asphalt started making hot mix. So finally, no more cold mix. They're supposed to be open last week. We had some issues at the plant. But so I would say if you see our guys out, they'll be hot mixing probably from now until the snow flies. So again, there's enough of them out there, and that's what we'll be continuing to do is patch holes. That's in my report.
Any questions?
I just want to say thank you. Everybody in here knows that I was project chair for that soccer field, and that is a huge addition for all the kids in our soccer program. Be unbelievable for the Pee Wee football players too. Don't forget them. And I know I've been waiting to tell you that for like, what, 6 months now? Completion.
Yeah. I wish you had told me 3 months ago too.
Yeah,
believe me.
but I mean, it's a great addition. I know Marvin's son plays soccer, about to go through for anybody that's down there, and it's just adds to everything else that was done down there. It's awesome.
I was, I've been watching it the whole time, but when you finally, and I've been seeing the finished product for a couple of weeks, but to go down now and finally see it and it's all done and painted underneath and everything, I don't think it could have turned out any better. I really don't. I really don't. So,
One other thing. We forgot to mention that.
Oh,
So,
yes, go ahead.
I don't, this is getting, I know it was in the mayor's report, but I wanted to make sure everybody saw the final project on the, the street department will get this.
Yep,
hung
I'll
up
take it back
sometime-
off you tonight.
Yeah, sometime this week, 5 o'clock Saturday, this will be unveiled. Mayor Day and I are also invited to the VFW for special dinner that night with our spouses. But we love everybody that can be there to be there for this unveiling. It'll be 5 o'clock Saturday. Hopefully the weather's good. This coming Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yep.
And it'll be at, everybody
Yeah.
knows, at Minnick and 4th Street.
Yeah.
That's where we'll be.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
And
and
then the
thank-
Kentucky Derby.
and thank you again for helping with that.
Sign turned out well. Sign turned out well. But any questions?
Okay. So Tough Bags had students in volunteering, and they cleaned up garbage on Cookson. And some of the business owners reached out to my wife and thanked her. But they also mentioned something about the fencing along Cookson. Do we own that, or is that the state?
ODOT.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
All right, I kind of figured, I told them we would probably have to reach out to them.
Yeah, it might be I'll write that down, because it might be a great time, because they're doing up around 250.
So like, some of it probably just needs reconnected, but like in front of Express Packaging or the old Express, where the trucks would go, they hit it and knocked it down, and so the poles are knocked down and
Right.
everything, so.
Right. Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
Any
Anything
other
else?
questions? Thank you, Mr. McAvoy.
Thank you.
Safety Director, Mr. Milligan.
Thank you, Mr. President, council, and guests. Just want to spend a little more time, again, last council meeting, I talked about some of our safety concerns relating to e-bikes. Ironically enough, I've got a few more phone calls this weekend about some concerns. Thanks to Law Director Fate, he did some research for us. We pulled some ordinances and legislations for some other cities in the community that I'm currently evaluating now. I appreciate you sending that over so quickly. So we are looking at some strengthening the ordinances that are on the book right now. You cannot ride your e-bike on the sidewalk in the square or a block from the square. However, I do want to encourage those that are riding their e-bikes on the sidewalks to do so with much caution. The rate of speed of those bikes can be detrimental to not only pedestrians, but cars pulling out of the alley. So it is a true safety concern, I believe, and we're going to look at what we can do to put some guidelines in place. I'm not trying to eliminate e-bikes, but I am trying to make sure the welfare and safety of our pedestrian traffic in the city and those who are actually riding the e-bikes to make sure they're doing so safely. So thank you for that. More to come here shortly as we review those. One other thing I appreciate Mr. Fate doing, Officer Avon, who's our school resource officer down at West School, identified a safety concern with some vehicular traffic on Tuscarawas Avenue, vehicles passing on the right and almost striking some children when they're crossing the street, making the left onto, I believe that's Ray or Fair there, I'll mess that up, thank you. So we worked together with Law Director Fate to create a new ordinance that prohibits passing on the right during that school zone and limiting hours. So that's something here over the next couple of weeks we'll get enacted in a new ordinance. We did also take a look at other school zones to see if appropriate legislation is needed there. We don't feel it's needed there at this time, but we'll continue to evaluate that. So I just want to appreciate Officer Avon, Chief Bahovey, for their thoughtfulness and forethought looking at safety issues within our school zones. So thank you, and I'll take any questions.
Any question? Mr. Sears?
A comment and a question, I guess, about the e-bikes. I did have several people reach out to me after they saw the article, and they do agree. They do agree that something needs done. So I appreciate you looking into that, and I know there's a lot of ins and outs and gray areas with it, but I think people do appreciate.
Well, I appreciate that, and just for those that are the e-biking public, I'm trying to be sensitive to your needs and your investment and allow you to use those thoughtfully and safely, so we'll try to come out of the approach, it's a win-win for all, keeping all parties involved. Thank you.
And then the second thing was I saw the ordinance about the, and I got on Google Maps, I was looking at the school zone and kind of where you were talking. So we will have that ordinance in place. Is there a sign or something that goes up that tells people?
Yeah, we'll look at putting a no passing on the right,
Okay.
probably with restricted hours up there for notification. We'll certainly go through the process of when we enact new laws, of going through a time period where we're lenient with our enforcement,
Sure.
maybe some education and warning. So we'll work with the media to try to get the message out, but
Okay,
will also be signs to reflect that.
good, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Next up is Denham, our auditor.
Thank you, Mr. President and council members. I just wanted to go into a little more detail about the email I sent from Brain Associates, the letter for those in charge of governance that I forwarded to each of you. I didn't know if you had any questions about that, but that letter is just a form they send out every year to the council announcing that they're starting the audit and what their expectations are, the scope of work that they'll be performing, and what they expect out of us as, to contribute the reports that they need in timely manners. And then once they're done with the audit, as they did last year, they'll send you another letter telling you what their findings are, and we'll have an opportunity to meet during council meetings to go over those findings, and they can answer any questions. It's the same that we did last year. And then also I just wanted to give you an update on the income tax collections. For the first quarter of last year compared to the first quarter of this year, we are down $20,000. And as of this month right now, if we were to finish this month, we are down $442,000 compared to last year at the end of April. We still have 3 days left to hopefully catch up. We've been doing deposits of almost $100,000 a day in the last couple of days, so hopefully we can get close. But we're not where we need to be, what we projected for income tax revenue. And that's all I have for right now. Do you have any questions?
So, I know last year we were delayed on our audit, and I see it said 6:30, so they feel like they can get that done?
We are
by then?
hoping, but the.
Because last year I knew it was delayed
Yes,
quite a
yes.
bit.
Yeah, right now, we have not filed for any extensions, so we do hope that we can get that finished. We're not finished with our financial statements, and they really need the final reports on those this week. They've been working hard on those and trying to get with some departments for some final information. And yeah, hopefully they can get those done in time, which then we can get the audit done in time also, which is, like you said, June 30th.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Denham. Treasurer, Mrs. Kimball.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the monthly report for March shows interest income was $45,069. Year-to-date, interest income puts us at $76,441, which is an increase of $21,000 over 2025 interest income for the first 3 months. Total revenue for March was $3.8 million. Total expenses were $2.7 million, with a net profit or net gain of $1,075,000. Year-to-date totals, we were at $8.9 million. In revenue, expenses $7.6 million, with a net gain of $1.3 million. Our ending cash balance per the books were $12,659,000. Per the bank, we were at $12,959,000. The difference is about $300,000 in outstanding checks that have not cleared. We had $2,058,000 in total encumbrance, so our ending balance, if all purchase orders were spent, would be $10,601,000. Last year, we were at $10,010,000. So an improvement of $591,000 as of March 31st, 2026. This is at an all-inclusive, it's not necessarily the general fund, which is where all the issues are coming from. We did make an adjustment to the overnight sweep balance. So instead of carrying $1 million in our operating account overnight every night, we dropped that down to $500,000, so we can earn an additional interest income on that extra $500,000. And then, as discussed during their finance meeting, we sent the capital asset policy to the finance committee for review, and hopefully we'll see that those work sessions come through to get those in place. There's still some discussion about the circulation or the non-circulation of pennies and how our departments are supposed to be able to react to that. We've covered the financial health indicators earlier. And then I just have a little short statement. My laptop died, so I apologize. I have to read from my phone. I'd like to make a short statement regarding the discussion around the city's financial hardship. No one wants to make the difficult decision to cut spending, and this is not going to be an easy discussion for council to make. I believe Councilman Kreinbill is putting forward an initial solution for consideration, and in doing so, he is demonstrating fiscal responsibility and the willingness to face public criticism. At this point, he is the only person who's offered any kind of concrete solution. While this may not be a popular solution, and I admit I'm conflicted myself, for a reason I'll explain in a minute, the cuts have to be made. If we don't make the cuts, the auditor of state will be in here cutting things we don't want cut. So, personal story, I'd like to share about why I'm conflicted and why I value our city health department. So during COVID, I worked for a commercial printer here locally. County wanted to shut them down. 60 million in annual revenues, 175 employees. The city health commissioner overruled. We were allowed to stay open, and if they would have closed those doors, that business never would have opened again. So will we have another COVID? Probably not. But I just wanted to make sure that I was on record supporting you guys and sharing my personal experience of why I value the city health department. So I really hope that someone can come up with a solution and quick, because we are running out of time. We're not gonna have a city at the end of the year. There's no money left. So our general fund we have to figure out a way to make the cuts where it's needed. I will say that I'm not convinced that eliminating any one of the departments will truly solve our long-term financial challenge. At best, it'll just be a temporary relief. Again, I don't know who all was in here earlier when I made the statement that when we were on the call with the auditor of state, they told us that we need to make the cuts. And if we don't make the cuts, they're going to be in our offices making the cuts that we don't want to make. And they're going to stay around a while, and we do not want that. So that's all I have. Any questions?
Any question? Yes, Ms.
Do
Ramos.
you addressed the financial health indicators earlier a little bit? Do you have anything more to say about that so we can better understand?
There were 198 entities listed in the 2024 financial health indicators, which is accessible to the public by going to the auditor of state, local governments, and financial health indicators. There's a heat map, there's several different reports. There were two cities or two entities listed that are in a critical position that have 8 or more, or at least up to 8. There's only 2 in the entire 198, and we are one of them. One indicator we discussed was the capital asset policy. If we make those revisions, it'll be a mutual agreed upon placing assets in the service life at the appropriate, like 20-year for a fire truck instead of 10, instead of accelerating our depreciation of our assets. Because that's one of the indicators, was the rate in which our assets are depreciating. Other than that, it's their spending. There's no decision or no information that I can share other than we have to make cuts.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Campbell. Law Director, Mr. Fate.
Thank you, Mr. President. If you excuse my attire for this evening, but I was at a home track meet, and when I should have been back here in time. My plan was to be back here in time for Mr. Rippus' meeting when I got the schedule, but it was my son Buddy Fate was running the 5th and 7th race, and when I arrived there, I found out he was also running the last race, which put me a little behind, but I did manage to make it in time for the meeting. Otherwise, I might have had somebody here. The reason Miss Sander wasn't here, I just want to make that clear at the last one. She had a very close personal family member of her family pass away around 6 o'clock that Monday. And I learned about it. She was still intending to come here. I told her absolutely not, that you need to be with your family right now. It was her sister-in-law, and I don't think she minds me saying that, because that's really tough when your husband's sister passes away suddenly. So I was the one who told her not to come. She was planning to come. I insisted that she not. I did call Ms. Ramos to try and get through to her and leave her a voice message saying my phone is on, I'm at the track meet in Millersburg, call me if you have any questions. So we talked about it later on.
Yeah, we did. My phone didn't get your message until, it popped up the next day or the day after that, so.
So,
But that's okay.
so I just want to let you know that's what was going on. And I'm generally always available by phone, no matter where I am, 24/7. When I had a call during a council meeting from a council president when I was in line for the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney World. I got a call from your predecessor. He called me while I was in line, and I answered it. I took it, and I told them what they needed to do, so I'm always available. One of the things that I want to address, and it kind of piggybacks on what the treasurer was saying, we have an important vote coming up here in May with regards to the school levy and building new schools here. In the past, I've been going door to door on behalf of this. In the past year, I've spoken to 3 prominent young people with good income, good paying jobs. One was a doctor, one was a bank executive, and one was an attorney. I showed up at actually the bank executives just 2 weeks ago. I was on his front porch. They are moving to Strasburg to, their kids will be attending school. They've got young children. And these are young people in their 20s and 30s. Those people are either moving away or they're not coming here. The doctor is a 5th generation Quaker, recently signed a really good, he's also a military veteran. He's going to be discharged, honorably discharged here in June. Got his medical degree while he was in the military. And he recently got married and is getting ready to start a family, and he bought property in the Tusky Valley School District for the same reason. They don't want to send their kids to an area that does not appear to care about their students. The attorney is sending his kids, and he's taking his kids to go to Indian Valley. When I asked him why, he said that we don't want our kids going to school in modulars, and I can't blame him for that. And so there's 3 young people that should be right here in our community. And if you think it's tough to manage now with income tax, your income tax base is moving or not coming here. And they're leaving because of the quality of the school buildings that we have here. Tuscarawas County, or New Philadelphia, is the only county in the entire, or only school district in the entire county not to take advantage of state money to build new schools here. And that's a problem, because eventually what you're gonna be left with is an elderly population that is not receiving income, that is not taxable for income tax, and that's our lifeblood. If you're losing doctors, bank executives, and attorneys to other school districts because of that, if you think we've got a problem right now, wait 10 years. It's gonna be, we're in really bad shape if that's the case. For me, people say, well, we can't afford it right now. That's what I hear all the time. But for me, it's not, Abraham Lincoln said the struggles of today are not only for today, they're for a vast future also. And that's why I'm supporting it. I'm closer to retirement age than I am starting out. I'm gonna be 57 years old next month. And I want to eventually retire in this community. I want it to be a safe community. I want to make sure that we've got an income tax base and we've got businesses moving here that want to locate here because we've got good schools. We've got people wanting to live here and stay here or move back here from college because we've got good schools. And that's not happening. And I'm very concerned that when I'm of retirement age, when I'm my mom's age, I don't want to live in a community that has a problem with drugs, crime, and the only thing that's being built new are Dollar General stores. We're better than that. We're much, much better than that. And I want to urge the people listening at home, I know everybody in this room is on the same page I am, so I am not talking to you, because I know all of you understand how important it is to get this right and to make sure that we encourage young people and businesses to come here. That's our entire lifeblood, and it's very important. But I want to retire and live in a safe community. I want my children to come back here and choose to send their children here because we've got great schools to send them to. And so I am. It's a little bit selfish for me, but I think it's very short-sighted to think of just what's going on right now and not look to what kind of community you want to have, because I believe this is a vote in our very community, in our best interest of our community. So I want to encourage all those listening at home, I want to encourage you to talk to other people, because I know where everybody in this room stands, to try and persuade people, because this is a really unique opportunity, that we are going to be able to have a one campus program. We're going to go from having busing kids to 8 different schools to one location. So you're going to cut down on transportation costs. You're going to go from 8 schools to 2. You're going to have less administrative costs, and you're definitely going to have a lot less upkeep. 2 of our buildings were built, the 2 buildings that house the most students, they were built before World War I. Not World War II, World War I. They were built when Woodrow Wilson was president of the United States. And it cost a heck of a lot of money to keep up 8 schools. 3 of them were built before World War II. It's an awful lot of money to keep up those schools than it is to have just 2 brand-new state-of-the-art schools that doesn't require that kind of upkeep and maintenance that it does to maintain 113-year-old buildings. So I just want to encourage you to talk to people, and if there's people at home that have questions, they want to call me. I'm a big advocate for this. It's an income tax, so it's not going to affect our senior citizens, like my mother, who doesn't have an income. It's not going to affect your property tax. In fact, your property taxes will be reduced by this, between $100 to $200, which I think is a big savings, particularly for senior citizens. And I just think that this is just something that's really important. If anybody wants to reach out to me, my number's 330-340-2694. Feel free to call me directly. I'd be happy to talk to you about it and meet with you about it. It's just too important for what we're doing and for the type of community we want. And it's going to make things very tough in the next 10 years if we are losing people like the ones I've described. We just can't afford to do that anymore. That's all I wanted to say. I'm going to get off my bully pulpit for now, and but that's something I'm very passionate about, that I believe strongly in. I want our community to be the best.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fate. I agree with you wholeheartedly. We had to support our schools. All right, Board Commission reports. Planning Commission, Mayor Day.
Planning Commission will have a special meeting here in council chambers on Thursday at 3 o'clock to consider a zoning change of the Joy Howden property to accommodate possibly some housing development. So I invite everybody to come, and then Mrs. Ramos will talk about the meeting she'll have after the Planning Commission.
All right, thank you. Board of Zoning Appeals, Mr. McAbeer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Board of Zoning Appeals will meet May 12th at 5 p.m. here in council chambers.
All right. Airport Commission, Mr. Alonso.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Airport Commission will be meeting April 12th at 6 p.m. But we will also, a couple of members of the Airport Commission, Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Bernard, will be coming in for Public Works and Economic Development meeting at 7 p.m. at the fall, on the 11th to present the cost and everything to do with the hangar construction and stuff.
All right. Park Board, Mr. Sears.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have a formal report, but since the mayor did not get to it in his announcement, I'll just mention real quick for the people at home. The Spring Trout Derby is this Saturday, May 2nd, from 8 a.m. to noon. Check it out. There's more information available on their Facebook page, which is the New Philadelphia Trout Derby. And that's all.
All right, thank you. Health Board, Mr. Simmelink.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you know, the Health Board met at noon today, and appreciate the mayor and Nicole explaining those concerns that were discussed at that meeting. The next meeting of that board will be May 13th.
Okay, thank you. Council Committee reports, Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance Committee met tonight here in council chambers at 7 o'clock. We had 2 orders of business before us. Resolution 4, 2026, which is a transfer of funds, and Ordinance 9, 2026, also a transfer of funds. The committee voted unanimously to put those on tonight's agenda and ask for a suspension of rules and passage on the first reading. We further discussed some things with our heat map and some of the financial information from the state auditor's office before we adjourned at 7:23.
All right, thank you. Public Works and Economic Development, Mr. Alonso.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Works and Economic Development Committee met this evening at 6:45. We had one item to discuss this evening. That was proposed ordinance 8/2026. And that is in regards to the removal and replacement of guardrail on 800 and 7 Mile Drive. We voted unanimously to approve that, and we're asking for suspension of the rules and passage on first reading.
All right, thank you. Safety, Health, and Service, Mr. Simmerlink.
No report, thank you, Mr. President.
Zone and Annexation, Mrs. Ramos.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last meeting, we put on the agenda ordinance 626 and 726. 626 has to do with the honorary sign for the VFW's 100th anniversary. Would you mind holding that up again?
Oh, yeah, I guess we gotta pass it before it can go up.
Yes.
There you go.
So since there's enough people here tonight, I'm going to ask for a suspension on the rules for that in time for the VFW's anniversary, 100 years. And then the other one, 7/20/26, is to vacate an alley in between two properties owned by the VFW. So I'll also be asking to get that passed with the suspension of rules. And the other thing, and the mayor alluded to this, Thursday at 3 o'clock is a special planning commission meeting, and I'm going to have a zoning and annexation committee meeting immediately after that, as it stands now. And that is I encourage everybody from council and the community to be here at 3 o'clock to hear the whole lowdown on the presentation, so we know what we're talking about. And so that's what we're going to be doing Thursday.
Just to clarify, when is his,
They start at 3.
and you'll be right after?
I'll be right after, so I don't know how long that's gonna be, but that meeting
3
will
o'clock.
contain the information that, what else are they gonna present again, Mr. Mayor?
Well, yeah, there'll be a presentation by a developer,
Okay.
yeah.
So
But the discussion is how
What you-
should we rezone the
Yeah, the
property
appropriate zoning,
for possible housing development?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I encourage everybody to be here for the presentation and know what we're looking at, talking about. And then they'll talk about appropriate zoning. Planning Commission has to recommend that, and then it moves to zoning annexation. So we'll just follow the process here wherever it leads.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Ramos. Salary, Mr. Rambill.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report.
Cemetery, Mr. Sears.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report tonight.
And we'll get this time, Mike. Special and conduct, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report, but I will need 15 minutes, which equals 3 minutes, the next council meeting.
We'll do it at 6:45
That's
then. Okay.
All right. Floor is now wood for visitors' comments. Anyone wishing to address council should rise. State your name and address, and address all comments to the chair. You'll have 5 minutes.
Hi, I'm Connie Thornton, live at 324 West High of New Philly. The City Health Department is amazing and compassionate. The people, they love our city, they love our residents. They were there for me and my family when my mom passed 5 years ago. And I have a heart for the city of the health department, and I'm hoping and praying that they stay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, right, council comments. Any council comments? We're gonna look into a council as a whole for the health committee. I'm gonna do that on a separate night. And if you got questions, I'm sure we can get to Nicole, and I'll get with Nicole and kind of count the format for that meeting on, that once we get it set up. But I want to do it on a separate night for nothing else but just that meeting with the health board.
Can I request that that meeting also include our health board?
Yes, sure can. Sure can. But we'll get together and kind of come up with a date. Any other comments from council members? And not legislative agenda.
Ordinance number 6, 2026, an ordinance by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to have an honorary designation at the corner of 4th Street and Minnick Avenue in honor of Carl C. Stoller, VFW 1445, to have signage placed under the street name that would read VFW 1445 Veterans Way. The street name itself would remain unchanged, and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Is there any action we take on this ordinance tonight? Yes, Mr. Ramos.
I'm going to ask that we suspend the rules on ordinance 6, 2026.
Do I have a second? Mr. Sears, thank you. Any discussion by community, administration, council, roll call.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbill.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippet.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Our rules have been suspended. Now, Mrs. Ramos.
I move that ordinance 6, 2026 be passed.
Do we have a second? Thank you.
More aggressive, right?
All right. Is there any discussion by the city or the administration, council, roll call?
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbill.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippet.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 6, 2026 has passed.
Ordinance number 7, 2026, an ordinance to vacate an unnamed 160-foot alley running south from Park Avenue Northwest and north to another unnamed alley and separating lots number 2778 and 2779, owned by the New Philadelphia VFW Post 1445, and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Is there any action taken on this ordinance tonight? Yes, Mrs. Ramos.
I move that we suspend the rules for ordinance 7, 2026.
Do I have a second? Mr. Walker, thank you. Any discussion by administration, council, roll call?
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbill.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippet.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Our rules have been suspended. Mrs. Ramos.
I move that we pass ordinance 7, 2026.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Walker. Now, any comments from the community, administration, council, roll call?
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbill.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippet.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 7, 2026 has passed.
Ordinance number 8, 2026, the following ordinance is enacted by the City of New Philadelphia, Tuscarawas County, Ohio, hereinafter referred to as the local public agency, LPA, in the matter of the stated described project, being the removal and replacement of guardrail along State Route 416 from SLM 12.96 to State Route 800, including .17 miles within the corporation limits. The guardrail within the corporation limits is connected to state-maintained guardrail. First reading.
Is there any action to take on this ordinance tonight? Mr. Lanzer.
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that we suspend the rules on proposed ordinance 8, 2026.
Do a second, Mr. Ripper, thank you. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Ribbit.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, rules have been suspended. Now, Mr. Lonzer,
Yes, I move that we pass ordinance 8, 2026.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Griffith. In discussion by community administration,
Mr. President?
yes, Mr.
If,
McNamara.
if I could ask, Clerk, Courtright, if, after 7 and 8 being passed, could I get the signed copies and sent to me email so I can send them on tomorrow?
Yes, I will
Thank you
get
so
that
much,
for you
Julie.
tonight.
Thank you.
All right, where were we, any council comments? If not, I got a short mind. Roll call.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Ribbit.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 8, 2026 has passed.
Ordinance number 9, 2026, an ordinance by the Council of the City of New Philadelphia, Ohio, amending and adjusting the permanent appropriations ordinance for the year 2026 and declaring an emergency, first reading.
So we have taken on this ordinance tonight. Yes, Mr. Ribbit.
Thank you, Mr. President. In keeping with tonight's theme, I would request a suspension of the rules and that we pass this on first
Do I
reading.
have a second? Mr. Granville, thank you. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Ribbit.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, rules have been suspended. Mr. Ribbit.
I would therefore move that we pass ordinance 9, 2026 tonight.
Mr. Granville, second, thank you. In discussion with community, administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Ribbit.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 9, 2026 has passed.
Resolution number 4, 2026, a resolution by the Council of the City of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to authorize and direct the auditor of the City of New Philadelphia to transfer up to $205,000 from the General Fund 101 to the Cemetery Fund 209 as previously appropriated and declaring an emergency, first
Is
reading.
there any action we're taking on this resolution tonight?
Yes, yes, Mr. President, thank you. As an encore, I would like to ask that we suspend the rules tonight and pass this on a first reading.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lonzo. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Ribbit.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, rules have been suspended. Mr. Griffith.
I would move that we pass Resolution 4, 2026 this evening.
I'll
Thank
second
you,
that.
Mr. Lonzo. Second, thank you. In discussion by community, administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Ribbit.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, resolution 4, 2026 has passed.
And that concludes legislation for this evening.
All right, thank you, Ms. Courtright. Is there any unfinished roll business for tonight? Any new business for council tonight? Hearing none, Mr. Lonzer,
So moved, Mr.
motion for adjournment, 8:53. Thank you, everyone.